Well, good morning and welcome everyone to the Ottawa Hospital. Bonjour et bienvenue à l'Hôpital d'Ottawa. My name is Cameron Love and I'm the President and CEO here at the Ottawa Hospital. Before we begin, I want to start by recognizing the land we stand on here today. The Ottawa Hospital respectfully acknowledges it's located upon traditional and unceded Algonquin territory. We have the privilege and responsibility to serve First Nations, Métis, and Inuit, and to demonstrate respect for the contributions, culture, and traditional knowledge of all Indigenous peoples. I want to welcome our special guests who are here today, the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, Deputy Premier and Minister of Health, Christine Elliott, the Mayor, Ottawa, Jim Watson, our local MPPs who always have been champions here for the Ottawa Hospital. We are so thankful for everyone's ongoing support. And I want to welcome our TOH representatives, Catherine Cotton, the Chair of the Ottawa Board of Governors, Board members Marion Crowe and Tony Satili, Michael Runia, the Chair of the Ottawa Hospital Foundation's Board of Directors, and our Chief of Staff, Dr. Virginia Roth, and members of our leadership team. And a very warm welcome and thanks to our healthcare workers, some of whom are here today, for their dedication throughout these past 2 very demanding years, and for everything they have done to provide compassionate care for patients and families across this region. While there have definitely been challenges these past 2 years, it has also been a time to learn. What we have learned will help us improve care for our patients and ensure our healthcare system becomes more resilient in the decades ahead. But above all, what we have learned will help us shape the future of healthcare for our community. Today is a tremendously exciting one for the Ottawa Hospital, and we are so delighted to welcome the Premier to talk about a project that is pivotal to the future of healthcare in our region, our new hospital. As we turn a corner from this pandemic, the future ahead of us is very bright. As one of Ontario's fastest growing communities, we must be able to meet the demands of our patients today and in the years to come. This is why the new hospital is so important, to enable us to provide world-class healthcare for the next century. Please let me introduce now someone who very much shares our vision for the future of healthcare in our region. We are so grateful for his leadership throughout the pandemic and for his support for TOH's future. Please join me in welcoming our Premier, Doug Ford.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much, Cameron, for that introduction. And it's great to be back at the Ottawa Hospital. You really do lead a world-class team here, some of the best anywhere, and we're all privileged to have many of your excellent team members here with us today. On behalf of Minister Elliott, Minister MacLeod, Minister Fullerton, PA Roberts, and PA Gamari, let me say thank you for all you've done to protect the people of Ottawa when they needed it most. I also want to welcome Mayor Watson, who is here with us today. Friends, after 2 very long years, we've come so far. Because of the sacrifices made by Ontarians and the amazing care provided by our healthcare heroes, we've been able to safely and cautiously reopen our province. Now looking ahead, we want to ensure Ontario is better prepared for the future. We're producing more masks, gowns, gloves, goggles, face shields, and ventilators right here at home. Because of our ambitious plan that's building Ontario, we're adding thousands of hospital and long-term care beds. With the support of our government's historic funding, cities and towns all over Ontario are attracting more doctors, nurses, and personal support workers to care for patients. But we can do more to build a stronger, more resilient health system. And today, our government is continuing to do so right here at the Ottawa Hospital, because we're investing $29.1 million to help Ottawa Hospital plan its new state-of-the-art civic campus. This is one of the largest planning grants in Ontario's history, and will ensure the Ottawa Hospital will continue to meet the needs of this growing community for generations to come. And it will dramatically improve the quality of health care that this community receives. This is something that has been desperately needed for decades, and we're proud to deliver for the people of Ottawa. Folks, a lot of people have talked about this project, but we're the ones that will get it done. And the new civic campus will include a cutting-edge trauma center, a larger emergency department, an updated surgical suite, and over 300 new beds, including acute care and a new rehabilitation center, so that the patients can get the care they need close to home. Construction on this vital project will start in 2024 and is all part of our government's mission to end hallway health care once and for all, and to ensure that Ontarians can get the care they need when they need it, regardless of where they live. Today's investment is part of our $30 billion commitment to modernize and expand Ontario's healthcare infrastructure over the next 10 years. These are not Band-Aid solutions. We're getting shovels in the ground and investing for a stronger future for generations to come. Our province has come so far. We can't afford to go back to the politics of no. Instead, our government is saying yes. Yes to building modern hospitals, yes to investing in our communities, and yes to building a stronger, more resilient province. Friends, let's say yes to the better and brighter future that the people of Ontario deserve. I want to thank you, and God bless. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we're ready to take questions. For those that have questions, if you could just form a line behind the microphone over here. Just a reminder, it's one question and one follow-up.
Hello, Premier.
Hi.
Hi, Elizabeth Payne from the Ottawa Citizen.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi. I have a question about the pandemic. You talked about reopening safely.
Yes.
Indicators are going way up in Ottawa, and as of today, wastewater levels are about what they were at the end of January when you were talking about a tsunami of cases. What is the province doing right now with this situation?
Well, a few things. First of all, I just want to clarify, I'll always follow the advice of Dr. Moore. What we have is we have a stronger, more stable healthcare system, more capacity in the hospitals, and we've learned a lot over the last little while. We also have the antiviral pills that are coming online as well, and we have the immunity throughout the province. But let me assure you, we'll always be cautious. I'll always listen to the advice of Dr. Moore and other doctors around the province. So, and we're going to continue moving forward in a very cautious way.
Do you think the government reopened too quickly, removed masks too quickly?
Well, I don't think so, considering we're one of the last in North America. I've always said I've been accused of being the most cautious leader in North America. And when everyone else in the whole country is taking their masks off, and we're the last province to do so, I think one more PEI. But I'll always be the cautious one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bonjour, Premier Ford. Frédéric with Radio-Canada. So, yeah, you mentioned a few provinces. You missed Quebec because they still haven't removed the mask yet.
But they did remove it.
And it's going to the 15th.
Very early in schools.
Yeah.
And
general population.
and
But
general population, yeah.
but are you worried that you're going to have to go back and ask people to, put masks again and have to, I don't know, like start closing businesses again? Are you worried while you're seeing those numbers spiking up a bit?
I'm confident in the amount of beds that we've grown over the last 2 years through the leadership of Minister Elliott. She's done an incredible job. Again, I'll always be the cautious one. And we've built up some resilience. We've built up the immunity. We have the highest vaccination rates in the entire world. So everyone in Ontario has really pitched in and have done an incredible job. So I think we're doing well. But I'm going to pass it over to the Minister of Health as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. As the Premier has indicated, we do have very high rates of vaccination. In fact, yesterday we hit a big milestone, over 32 million vaccines administered. So with that, with the rates of immunity that we have and the other drugs, the antiviral drugs that we have now, we are protected. Dr. Moore did indicate several times that as we reopened Ontario up, we would see higher levels in the wastewater surveillance. But we are confident that we have the capabilities in our hospitals to be able to take care of anyone who needs a hospital bed or needs to be in intensive care. But this is something that was suggested we would see in any event, so it's not surprising to us at all.
Merci, Minister.
Thank you. Yes.
Premier Ford, if I can ask you another follow-up question, but this time on the daycare subject.
Yes.
So Toronto Star is reporting that a daycare deal is likely to be reached next week, and that a separate infrastructure fund for daycare spots may be on the table. Can you confirm and say what Ontario is asking in terms of, separate funds?
Yeah, we've been working very closely with the federal government. We say we wouldn't sign a deal that doesn't work for people of Ontario. And that's where we're at. We work very collaboratively with the federal government on so many different issues, and we'll get the deal done.
Okay.
But thank you. Thank you so much for the question.
Good morning, Premier. Natalie Van Roy from CTV Ottawa.
Hi, Natalie.
Hello. If we continue to see that rise in infections and it gets to the point of another surge in the spring, could we see another wave of restrictions?
Well, let's continue being cautious. Let's continue making sure that we move forward in a cautious way. And, let's talk about that if, God forbid, that ever happens at the time. But we're prepared. Again, we've built up 3,000. We can ramp up to 3,000 ICU beds. We've increased to 3,100 acute care beds. We're prepared, and I have all the confidence in the world in the leaders of the hospitals, Cameron Love or other leaders throughout our province. We have a great health team, great nurses, great docs, and we've learned a tremendous amount over the last 2 years. And I think really what's going to help too is the antiviral pills too. If we're getting a good shipment coming in, I understand, from the federal government through Pfizer, and we'll be able to go right to your doc's office, take the antiviral pill, and that will cut down on the hospitalizations tremendously. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
That's it? Oh, boy. Okay. I kind of miss getting the questions. But anyways, folks, for the people of Ottawa, this is really a long time coming. And again, I want to thank the leadership through Cameron Love. This is going to be the second largest investment in Canadian history. I think all said and done, it's going to be state of the art. It's going to be anywhere from $9 to $10 billion. And again, I want to thank our 4 local members and obviously my right-hand person throughout the pandemic, Minister Elliott and Cameron. Thank you for your leadership, and Mayor, thank you for everything you're doing over the last couple of years as well. So this is great news for the people of Ottawa. Thank you so much, everyone.